Okay, we're rolling again. Uh, Welcome to my podcast. My name is Anders Asker. I am an astrologer, also a yogi and a musician, and I'm operating out of Stockholm, Sweden. And today we have the 2nd of February, which is, it used to be my father's birthday. It's a portal. It's a portal day with the numbers, the double twos, and it's also what we consider, or what's considered Candlemas in the Christian tradition. Groundhog's Day is celebrated in North America, right? A lovely film, a great movie. And it's also Black Sarah, the gypsies have a celebration of Black Sarah that it's kind of like a Black Madonna figure that they honor and revere, and in they have a ritual when they put this Madonna in like a statue or a wooden carved figure or whatever in a boat, a small boat, sets it on fire and sends it out to the waves. I'm not more familiar with it than that, but I mean, we are in February. February is taken from Latin to cleanse. It has to do with cleansing, and we are in Aquarius is the ruling sign. The sun travels through Aquarius from approximately 1920 January to 1819 February, something like that. And Aquarius, the picture of Aquarius is the water bearer that is pouring the urn of water. Uh, that water is sweetened. So the process of sweeten the water is also a purification of some sort that is important in these times. It's also symbolic, the mid point season between winter solstice on the one hand and the spring equinox on the other. So it's one of the important eight corners, one of the corners of eight corners in the Celtic cross, or in yeah, in the old traditions. So that's where we are. And I shall give you a little review of what I've been contemplating of late. And we're just on the full moon. Right? The full moon was exact yesterday in Stockholm, very late, around 11 p.m. And I will share the charts or my screen as I always do. And I will just take up that chart first of yesterday, which was the full moon. It was exactly, see, 9 minutes past uh, 10 in Universal Time PM, or 11 in Stockholm PM, 2200 09. And this full moon, with the base with the sun in Aquarius and the moon in Leo, um, it was a very powerful full moon because of the many planets here in Aquarius that are being mirrored by the moon. They have been mirrored by Jupiter as they went through Capricorn, and now in Aquarius, the echoing sign is Leo, and with the full moon there, there's a lot of release of the drive of Aquarius for truth, for freedom, for equality, for brotherhood, the drive for really to get a scientific scope or a detached look at reality. It is an amazing sign, Aquarius. It's fixed and it's air. And you know that Pluto just entered Aquarius during the last couple of years, 23, 24. 24, he finally went in to stay for the coming uh, almost 20 years up until 2043, 2044. I think in January, that's when he enters Pisces. So Pluto is in this domain of the zodiac and is doing a lot of transformative work, and it has just begun. Uh, there are many jokes about Aquarius too. The native Aquarian can be somewhat um of an eccentric, and also the love of humanity can, on the other hand, manifest in a disdain for people, or like, having little patience with people because of the heightened um, energy of Aquarius. It's a fixed air sign. Air is the mental realm. It's the communicative realm, and the fixity of Aquarius actually adds on uh, patience or stubbornness or longevity to hold on to a thought, to a belief, to a perception. They can be uh, great leaders come out of Aquarius. In Capricorn, the prior sign, there's more control. It's Earth and it's cardinal. In Aquarius, when we have the air element, the concepts become more important, and uh, yeah, it's there are strong humanistic tendencies in Aquarius. So this full moon is activating. I wanted to just mention, if you know about the gene keys, which I have been introduced to by the great astrologer Koji Vihara. You can look him up. He's on YouTube, Koji Vihara. But he introduced the gene keys to me because it's an excellent wisdom in these gene keys, and they are based on the I Ching, on the Chinese old hexagram technique, 64 hexagrams, and the I Ching, and that's I think the oldest oracle that we have in our civilization. And well, astrology it has always also been used as an oracle, but the I Ching is a great system used with the zodiac in this interpretation of Richard Rudd and the human design system. And I just wanted to mention here that the sun has been traveling through uh, this gene key number 19 that has to do with, if you talk about the shadow, it's codependency. When you move to the gift, it is sensitivity. And then the CD is sacrifice. And I shan't go deep into that or explain it much more, but this part of the sign of this part in the zodiac, these 5 degrees leading up to 13 I forget exactness, but it's 13 degrees and is it 15 minutes or something like that? Uh, has a lot to do with sensitivity and the ability to feel with all life, with the animal kingdom. So this is the part that's connected to the whisperers, the horse whisperers, or the dog communicators. The, I checked it out myself in my own files of clients and friends, and I have a dear friend, communicator with dogs, with pets, and her Saturn and South Node is here and in close to this where the sun is now, before actually. Um, and yeah, this full moon was, of course, it's highlighting the the ideals of Aquarius and the rights of the people. And we are now at a phase in the development of things, the evolution of humanity and uh, our civilization to open up more to the influence of uh, those ideals that I just mentioned, the freedom loving, the truth seeking, the openness, a way of ruling where we're always putting the humanity or the people uh, in the first room. I mean, the American in the American Constitution, they have that written down in their Constitution, we the people. So that was written in it was composed in 1776, just two years before Pluto entered Aquarius the last time. So if you look at the Sibley chart, the American Declaration of Independence, that chart, that horoscope, uh, it has Pluto in the end degrees of Capricorn, but the moon is in Aquarius in that chart. The moon is in 27, 28th degree of Aquarius. And you see right now we have Uranus up here. The ruler of Aquarius is right now in Taurus. It made a short visit in Gemini in July, August, September, and dipped back into Taurus, is going retrograde but turns direct uh, 2 days from now. On the 4th, we might look at that chart too. And so Uranus is almost stationary, standing still, or he is standing. He's not moving any much more backwards. He's coming to turn direct on Wednesday, and is in a square relationship to the United States moon, and the moon in a mundane chart symbolizes the people. So you can see that there is a lot going on with shaking, pushing the people into more Aquarian concepts of liberty, of freedom, of equality. Uh, Accountability is maybe more a Capricornian trait, but it goes here too. These two signs, Capricorn and Aquarius, are both ruled by Saturn traditionally, and then Uranus is the modern ruler when we discovered that planet in 1781. just a few years after the Declaration of Independence and a few years before the French Revolution. So yes, we can feel the winds, the echoes of time from that time, from the late 18th century, which was a revolutionary time. Uh, as I mentioned, Pluto entered uh, Aquarius, I think it was in 1779, and then uh, exited in 1799. So that was the last time that Pluto was in Aquarius. He has a 248-year orbit. Um, and they are celebrating, United States is celebrating 250 years. Yeah, this summer, 4th July is their, yeah, 250 years. That's how young that nation is. But as some people say, that nation and its horoscope is kind of the new world horoscope because it was based on such high ideals. And for you who have studied the history and all the things that has led us up to now, also know that uh, there is a lot of purification going on, and it's so interesting to see what will unfold. We're on this full moon now in Leo, and Leo is the sign of the heart. Aquarius is the sign of the blood, circulation of the blood. It has to do with ankles, yes, it rules the ankles, but it definitely has to do with the circulation of the blood. So the people are also in a way symbolized by the sign in itself, and the emperor or the empress or the me, my sovereignty is symbolized by Leo. And we will have a lot of influence from these two signs in the coming age as we have entered the new age of Aquarius. In my opinion, that happened back in 2012 on the 12th of December, or if you want to say 21st of December. But there are many different views of how to put the Mayan calendar and the prophecy of the Mayan calendar, the end time of the Mayan calendar. The traditional date was by Arguelles, right? In his great claim to fame, The Mayan Factor, where he put up 21st of December 2020, 2012, 21st of December 2012. But then we have our own authority here in Sweden with Kalaman, who had another way of interpreting uh, the calendar. There are many great teachers out there, and take in what you like and discard what doesn't resonate with you. We always have to tune into our own feeling, our own heart in order to sense what is true. But you can see that there's a lot of energy right now in Aquarius, and there's a lot of um, things are coming up uh, faster and faster. The lid is coming off the jar, which is symbolized by um, Pholus. And I got to take that away to be able to see Pholus. I know he's down here with Okiroi. Um, on 11 something degrees in Capricorn. And we've been through that sign. We've been through that the last month, but the lead is Pholus is a centaur that that was very civilized, like Chiron, the first of the centaurs that was discovered back in 1977. Chiron, the wounded healer, is up here in Aries right now, and he is moving into a conjunction with Ares, the goddess of strife and discord. So these two forces are working very powerfully together to go deep, because Eris with that glyph with an arrow pointed down is going deep into the uh, core of things, uh, and Chiron is the key in a way put into the lock to open up by being able to see uh, painful stuff by acknowledging pain and the suffering that humanity has gone through. uh, these two energies together are bringing up and throwing out the ugliness, the pain, the tormented souls, in order for us to really see and change, transform, and go to a better way of handling. Aries is in a way symbolizing the child. It is the first principle. It's the equinox, spring equinox sign, and you see on the 0 degrees of Aries, we have Neptune. Neptune entered last Monday. He entered Aries to spend some 13 years up until 2039. I think March 2039, Neptune will go through this sign. And boy, uh, is are we in for a ride? Because Neptune, is at the midpoint between Pluto on one hand and Uranus on the other hand. And as I said, Pluto or Uranus up here, who's ruling the sign where Pluto is in, will move into Gemini on April 26th or 27th of April. Uranus will come into Gemini again to spend 7 years in that sign. And at the same time, uh, Neptune is coming deeper into Aries, and Saturn here, just at the heels of Neptune, is coming in on the 14th of February into Aries, and they have their exact conjunction on the 20th of February on the 1st degree of Aries, both being on the midpoint between Uranus and Pluto. This is a very powerful signature in astrology, and many astrologers all around the globe are super enthused and perplexed about this happening, because no one has seen it in modern time, or if you go all the way back to the cradle of this civilization we're in. You have to go back like 6,000 years. We we haven't had a conjunction on the 1st degree. I think some researchers have found one that was in like 4,000, I forget, 415 BC. So there was one some 6,000 years back, but we don't have records or no written records, no real recollection in the collective of that, unless you are able to tap into the Akashic records and go back to that time. And that would have been in the age of beginning of the age of Taurus, the end of the age of Gemini. Yeah. So we are in such unprecedented time on the planet, and the help we were getting now collectively from Pluto, the transformative energy in Aquarius, from Neptune, and then Saturn in the fire sign Aries, that has to do with starting, with going out, with the courage, uh, with going forth, uh, and then Uranus moving into Gemini, the sign of communication, of perception, of speech, information. The information that is coming, that is just flooding the planet in 2026 will be quite a sight to see, or um, an experience to savor. Because even if there are a lot of uh, dark, uh, still a lot of dark energies in play, because they make much more noise than the light ones. Uh, uh, Even if that's happening, and it's bringing up uh, things to the surface so that we can see, so that we can, get out of the sleep, uh, and see clearly. We need these fiery manifestations to really be able to see what's going on and what has been going on. And there's a lot of stuff coming up right now in this moment. There's a lot of stuff coming up, and humanity cannot look away anymore, because there's so much cruelty uh, that is being sanctioned by crazy leaders, psychopathic leaders, that we have to change things. We have to collaborate and collectively start working together in a much more wise way. And this you shall see, the workings of Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus. It will be a tremendous, powerful work that's coming out of this. And the years 26, it started in 25, you can say, when it really started to break through. I mean, we've been held since 2020. We've been held in many people, myself included, woke up back in 2020 with COVID and the pandemic and all of that, all that rape on humanity that was openly displayed. Um, Now we're much later into that process, and we've been going through a lot of happenings where humanity has raised up and protested and gone against governments, or against the political correctness of mass media, and questioning, searching, researching, digging, going deeper. Pluto's work is digging up the dirt and also going deep down to lift up into the light of consciousness so we can see Zedna, the dwarf planet or Kuiper belt object way out in the Kuiper belt or Oort cloud. She's the goddess of the deep sea, the Inuit goddess of the sea. She holds knowledge of many secrets that belong to the Arctic Sea, to the ocean, to way below in the in that amazing world underwater. She's also with Uranus' help here because they will have their exact conjunction sometime in I think it's in the month of May. They're holding hands. As I said, Uranus comes into Gemini in late April, and then they have their conjunction, I think, in late May. And they are trining Pluto. They are in a very harmonizing aspect to Pluto because it's an air sign, Gemini, it's an air sign, Aquarius, the same element, very knowledgeable, very talkative, communicative. Aquarius is the scientist, and Gemini is the newsman. So you have that. Uh, they're playing in the same harmony, and this will open up the lid even more and really let out all the stuff that's been held down, pushed down, made secret, if it has to do with UFOs or ETs or the sex trafficking, the sex rings, the pedophilia by our elite. I mean, there's so much that's the military-industrial complex and its influence on governments all over the world, and the Secret Service or these three-letter agencies like CIA or MI6 or whatever. I mean, things will come up that will enable humanity to actually cleanse and purify and rise. That's the process we're in. And yes, it may take many years. Right now, I'm just looking at 26, 27, 28. I'm not going further, but yeah, there's some very interesting things going on in 2032, for instance. But right now, we're in a very transformative phase, as some have likened to the butterfly coming out of the chrysalis. I wanted to mention this moon here in yesterday's full moon because the picture of that full moon in the Sabian symbols, the 14th degree in this wonderful old book by Rujar, or yeah, interpreting the Sabian symbols. The degree of the full moon to yesterday in Leo, the first scene, the half sign of Leo, is called the scene is called combustion. You can just think what that means, but it's the beginning of the fixed fire sign, Leo. Very proud. And And the 14th degree is a human soul seeking opportunities for outward manifestation. The keynote is the yearning for self-actualization. So there's a strong urge for letting the soul manifest. Yes, we are in soulful times. My tribute to Bobby Ware of the Grateful Dead. Um, that was a synchronicity too with this full moon. Um, but then I wanted to move on to the next chart. But I don't want to be too long. I tend to go away or drift away in my thinking and reflections. This is the Wednesday chart of Uranus stationing, moving direct. A planet has been retrograding. An outer planet like Uranus retrogrades for almost 5 months and then turns direct station. When a planet is stationary, standing still, we say that it has the most influence on the earth because it's treading water, it's still, it's fixed, and it's like pounding, sending out those 432 hertz or what. No, I forget what Uranus, Aquarius, the hertz. It's all moving up anyway to higher hertz. But um, he's on that 28th degree in Taurus, which is also an interesting degree. It has to do with a woman finding love again in her old age. It's a beautiful picture. The 28th degree of Taurus, a woman past her change of life experiences a new love. Keynote, man's capacity to rise in consciousness and feelings above biological limitations. It's a very promising picture. It has to do with re-beginnings. So yes, you feel this 2026. I have never felt so hopeful. I've never felt so full of anticipation. And yes, the old world, it is crumbling. It is going down because it's built on corruption. It's built on greed. It's built on power to the very, very few to control the masses. It's sick. It's not humane. It's a psychopathic system, and it has to go. It has to go, you know. So 2026, we can feel it stronger than ever. And you see in this chart, which is I do charts now. When I do a mundane chart for the world, I always use Greenwich in England because it's on the zero meridian, and it's on the 5129, which is almost exactly 1/7 of the circle. So using seven, a mystical number, um, uh, and connecting it with the zero meridian, we have a good view of the world and where the well, yeah, where to start to look. And in this chart, Uranus is exactly on Uranus. See, Uranus and Sedna here are straddling the horizon in the west, the descendant, the cusp of the seventh house, which is angular, powerful, saying, hey, 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 look at me. or look at us. We're together now, holding hands in in waking up the planet to its true values and to the real information of what is and what is not. And as I said earlier, this placement squares in this chart here of day after tomorrow, Mercury, the lower octave of Uranus, the planet of the intellect, the mind, in Aquarius, squares Uranus, squares this ascendant descendant axis, the horizon in the east and the west. So it's kind of in the base of the chart and pushing out more knowledge, more science, more scrutinizing science, questioning, live in the question. Remember to live in the question. Feel what feels right. I don't want to get too long. Aries ingress of Saturn is happening on the 14th of February. I just mentioned that. This interesting chart with Jupiter Moon opposition in that chart. Jupiter is saving grace when he moves through Cancer, which he does, which he has done since July 2025. Will come into Leo on the 30th of June 2026. So he's in Cancer right now, retrograde, backing, closest to the Earth. Here's the Earth, opposing the Sun. And Moon Juno here is about loyalty and feeling with. This could be the establishment, Capricorn. It could be the big corporations, the governments. And are we going to stay loyal with them? Or are we going to listen to our love for the family, for the close one to us? That's a question that is interesting to answer. Yeah. Saturn and Neptune here on the first degree of Aries. The picture for the first degree of Aries is a woman risen out of the sea, is embraced by a seal, and it's really a picture of new creation with a feminine energy. The first scene is potency, right? No, sorry, desire, scene one. A woman just risen from the sea, a seal is embracing her, emergence of new forms and of the potentiality of consciousness. Neptune and Saturn starting a new 36, 37-year cycle, but Neptune starts a new 165-year round through the zodiac. Saturn starts a 29.5-year cycle, a new one through the zodiac. So it's like that it's an amazing birth of new potentiality. And also here we see Moon and Juno, the wife of Jupiter, loyalty, Moon, emotional, the people, is straddling Vega, the star Vega, and Lyra or Lyra, how you pronounce that, Lyra, the constellation that is very much connected to humanity. A lot of souls from the Lyra are incarnating on the Earth, because there was a very traumatic war way back in ages on the Lyra that then yeah those memories, ancient traumatic memories, soul memories, are much among humanity here on the earth today. And that has in a way held us in check because of the traumas of the past. We have not had the courage to rise up against authority and question what the are they doing with guns, with drugs, with uh, brainwashing humanity with falsities and fabricated truths. So it is a very powerful time to be alive. I just wanted to mention also that this full moon uh, of yesterday takes us in a fortnight to the new moon on Tuesday, the 17th of February, 2026, on the 29th degree of Aquarius. And that is also the start of the Chinese New Year. And this New Year is the year of the fire horse. Last time we had the fire horse was in 1966. As you know, these signs come back every 12 years. So in 2014, it was the year of the wooden horse, the wood horse, but we have to go 60 years back in time to find the fire horse. And you know that the fire horse is famous or infamous for its sovereignty, its freedom, its love of freedom, its charge forward. I mean, the horse is a symbol of the sun in itself. And I so much identified with riding horses as a kid, on being a native Indian, on the horse, roaming the prairies or the plains. So yeah, it's a very powerful symbol of charging forth. And with this uh, Saturn Neptune conjunction becoming exact 3 days later, I'm not showing that chart here, but as it's getting exact, Saturn Neptune conjunction, it's also an exact trine down to Sedna here on the 20th of February. The exact conjunction is, but also the exact, sorry, it's a sextile, a 60-degree angle from Neptune, Saturn to Sedna in Gemini. And the 60-degree angle is a very creative angle. It combines elements that are in are very complicable or have easy to understand, because fire and air are yang, positive, whereas earth and water are yin, negative. Not playing a value judgment in that, just minus or plus or minus, and the yang signs or the plus signs, Aries, Gemini, Leo, Libra, so forth, they they can easily understand each other. So that's why the constellation with Pluto in Aquarius trining Uranus and Sedna when Uranus gets into Gemini, and sextiling on the midpoint there with Saturn and Neptune. It's such a um, amazing trine or double sextile aspect. Very creative energy. And I just wanted to mention that this degree here, the 29th degree of Aquarius, in the Sabian symbols, it is a butterfly emerging from a chrysalis. So we've been right all along talking about how we've been in the mush of the chrysalis, especially the last few years. Even if it started back in 2020, we were kind of stuck, and it was so much. It was a tough time. Now, of late, we've been more and more feeling that the transformation is so almost complete, and we can come out of the chrysalis like a butterfly. And the keynote is the capacity to utterly transform the character of one's consciousness by radically altering the structured patterns of everyday living and the types of relationships one enters upon. It's total metamorphosis. And that's you and I. We are all going through this transition, whether we like it or not. We have to try to go with the flow. Yeah, yeah, it is amazing. It is truly amazing. I also want to just give you what another very good Australian astrologer, Bernadette Brady, in one of her seminal early works, writes on this particular Zorro series, which is 10 North or number 121. Um, the eclipses. This is a solar eclipse, a solar annular eclipse. It's not total, but it's an eclipse, and these come back every 19, approximately 18.6 or 19 years. They come back, and they keep going for about 1800 years before they wane. They start at one end of the pole. Now I shan't go in there, but they start on, say, the south side and then move to the north side, or start on the north and move to the south, and that takes approximately 1800 years. Um, so this one, uh, interpreted from the first one in the series, there is a very strong emphasis on communication, and at the same time, frustrating or inhibiting events may come into the person's life via news, paperwork, or a young person. The person may feel tired and drained, and this is therefore a good time to take things quietly and work through the difficulties one at a time. Well, that's just a little guideline from Bernadette Brady. Of course, you can interpret your own story into this part of the zodiac, the end of Aquarius. And it's just one day or a little bit more than one day prior to Sun entering Pisces. Uh, so yeah, that's coming up. I shall leave it at that. I hope I wasn't too long in this reflection on the times right now. I wish you very good Groundhog's Day. embolic Black Sarah. I know that I have a lot of support from my father, and not just heavenly light source above or within the source, but also my biological father, who is in the skies. It's his birthday. Yeah, he was born in 37. Didn't live until he only became 51. But it's good. We are all learning. We are all moving forward. God bless you all, and stay optimistic. Keep feeding what nurtures you, what's nourishing for you. Use the techniques that you like for anchoring into yourself, and to find stillness on a daily basis is so important in these times of change. Yes. God bless, and well met again.